Hello everyone and welcome to Hazar Hawa Jahan. You are watching podcast 4. Once again, I, Naeem Savari and my friend Mehdi Sina have two incredibly special guests instead of one for you today. Sadia Ali and Nichole Hayes. Nichole commenced working at United Solar Energy in the role of National Business and Compliance Manager for the past 12 years, I believe so, Nichole, yes?
12 months.
12 months, 12 months. Nichole have also worked in the Parliament of Victoria as an electorate office manager for various members. Minister for Water and Parliamentary Secretary to Minister for Education.
Yeah, previous.
Welcome, Nichole.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
A brief introduction about Sadia Ali. And Sadia Ali currently working as electorate officer in Parliament of Victoria. You are the president and co-founder of United Cultural Incorporated. And in the past 3 years, you have been working as early childhood educator. You have been actively in a multicultural supported playgroup leadership program. Before that, you have also worked as a bicultural kindergarten community educator. Most interestingly, your passion for teaching has grown its root as early as 16 years of age in your life. I believe you started teaching English to migrant and refugees back home. Sadia Ali and Nichole Hayes, welcome to today's show.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you for accepting our request and being in our show.
It's a pleasure to have you both. And so the first question, without any wasting time, I'm going to start asking about Sadia. Sadia Ali, when did you come to Australia and how did you realize that you want to be or who you want to be today?
I came to Australia in 2011 as it's pretty sure that most Hazaras were persecuted and we chose to come by boat to save our lives. So me and my husband came by boat to Australia. And so for us, how I realized what I am or what I will be is it's an interesting question because I never realized what am I going to be because I was just living my life, settling in a new country. And but later with it, I think Australia is a land of opportunity.
No doubt about that.
And gradually you understand and you start recognizing your skills and you start recognizing your abilities as to where you're going. And education was always a passion for me. So I started with educating myself and then slowly we went there and then...
And you're actually a self-educated person. You've educated yourself a lot.
Oh yes, I've done a lot.
Wow.
I do it all the time.
Yeah, I think that's the best investment you can make. Like you can educate yourself or invest in yourself to increase your skills. Yeah. Tell us more about yourself, about the challenges you had for the very first time you came to Australia, the challenges you settled down in here, and those sort of stuff.
As a newcomer and as a refugee and a former asylum seeker, there were hundreds of barriers, and as a woman, you are not aware of the settlement services. You're not aware of the system, and then you're juggling with being a young mom. You're alone, away from your family. So there were numerous challenges that has shaped me to who I am today. And so it was not easy. It was not, and it still is not easy, but you have to keep fighting and you have to, prioritize what you want to be. If you keep thinking of the complaints and if you keep thinking of, the difficulties that you're facing and you start complaining and you just say that, life is difficult, you'll never reach anywhere. So I had to tell this to myself. I always reflect on myself. I always have that time to reflect and tell things to myself that would you rather be someone sitting and crying or would you rather be someone helping? Wow. So that's the thing that made me like, okay, go for it, change it,
I really like that optimism.
That's beautiful.
That's the resilience of people who come to other countries. So I think migrants are very resilient. They settle, they accept challenges in much better way than the rest of the wider communities.
Perfect. That's good to know. Nichole, how did you meet Sadia?
So I met Sadia one day in the office of Gary Mars. Gary had met Sadia and had said, Nichole, I really want you to meet this this young woman. She's,
Jerry, the member for
member for Narre Warren South.
Oh, okay.
And he said, I think you and her would be able to do some great projects together.
Yeah.
So I met Sadia, and there was instant chemistry, and Sadia had a lot of questions. And
I always go with a question like
she had a lot of questions. So Sadia was mainly asking about how especially Hazara women can move forward in the current climate. And I said to Sadia that there needs to be someone who is willing to set an example and a platform for that. And I said to Sadia, who do you think that could be? And she said, I don't know. And I said, well, I'm confident that I know. And then she said, okay, so it's me. And I said, well, you're the one who's asking the questions. And I've always been a firm believer that you need to be the change that you want to see. So if you're the one that's experiencing the issue and you want others to come along with you for a journey, you need to stand up. It's as simple as that. So from there, Sadia stood up and has done amazing things for her community, not just the Hazara community, but also women around the world.
Exactly. Nice.
You know, she's an example of what courage and strength can do to, you know, can help affect a woman and her future pathways. And I'm sure that whatever Sadia does, she has enough drive and determination that she will achieve everything.
I know that you two are a very good friend now. So when you actually met Sadia first, what did you like about her the most?
I like that she was asking questions.
So she was curious.
She could see that something was wrong, and she was asking questions. She wasn't sitting with the status quo of, oh, well, this is what's happening, and that's wrong. It was, this is what's happening, how do we fix it? How do we move forward?
More of like focused on the solution part of it rather than
the problem.
Focusing on the problem.
Yeah.
And I guess as a person, I'm exactly the same. The problem already exists. It's not about the problem. It's about how we fix the problem and how we work together as a community to move on.
Very interesting.
See the relationship.
Yeah, very good chemistry and very interesting bond between you guys. And it's an interesting and incredible story to my understanding. Not a story, I mean like a real life story which can teach listen to a lot of people. We can see you're a busy woman, and how do you maintain your life, like being a mother and at the same time working in a full-time job and like doing a lot of community support? And I know you're working in a few organizations as a non-profit organization. How do you do that?
It's a very, very interesting question again, and in a sense that it's all about prioritizing again. So as Nikki mentioned, that we do target the issues and what's the issue and how to prioritize that issue first. For example, what comes first, we have to resolve that. So it's all about prioritizing. So it's always a tricky question for every working woman.
There's a lot.
I think that an answer to that is Sadia has an exceptional family, and her husband is one of the most supportive men I've ever seen, and her daughters are angels. So I think that it's not about Sadia doing anything special. I think it's about the people that support her and surround her that help lift her up, because I couldn't do what I do without my family's support and without my friends' support. So they afford me the opportunity to be able to come out to things like today and speak to the broader public.
Yeah.
As Sadia has left her daughters at home, they're allowed to have their hour computer time, I'm told.
Yeah.
And, her husband's looking after them. So to be able to achieve things, it's not about an individual, it's about a support network. And I think that Sadia has an amazing support network.
So who is the most supportive person in your life, like right now?
Oh, it's for sure my husband.
Your husband.
That's a brilliant support, Nichole. Let's touch base. You've previously worked with a lot of Muslim women, and I believe that you've done a research on this as well. Tell us more about it.
Yeah, so when I was studying at Chisholm in Dandenong, I did a paper on first generation Muslim women and their settlement in the southeast. And it was a really interesting paper to do. I had to look at the Australian culture in previous years.
Has it been published though?
No, it hasn't been published. I didn't want to publish it. I'm a bit shy like that. I guess me as a person, I'm someone who likes to stay in the background. I don't necessarily like to be out there.
You don't like to be in the front line.
No, I'm just sort of background kind of a person.
Yeah, if you could sum up your research, like, quickly.
Oh, sorry,
No, it's okay, it's okay.
That's what I say. She does always.
She pushes you
Yes.
over the edge.
So, you have to do it. Like sometimes I find her a very strict mama.
You need to push sometimes.
Yeah, I propose, Nikki, this is the proposal. What do we do? Sadia, you got to do this. Yeah, go for it. Yeah, take this. So it's a challenge. Take it, and then we're here. So I know I've got someone
to support.
So just having the sense of that support, that something is behind. Like you're learning swimming, so you need that guidance, right?
True.
That I am someone, that person is not going to let me drown. That trustful person. Nikki is that trustful person.
So it's just the initial click, like, you're the one like who's just putting that initial click, like you're just do it,
Yeah.
So just quickly back to your research, if you could sum it up quickly.
So my paper looked at Australia as a whole and the history of Australia and the White Australia policy and whether or not we are like a racist country in a sense and what's happened. So there was a whole journey. And then I looked at Muslim women and their interactions. And it wasn't just looking at it from the perspective of, well, a Muslim woman is easily identified, and it was a really open piece about what they could do as well as a culture or as a community to better integrate, and what we could do as a community to better integrate. And what are those obstacles? What do those obstacles lead to? And what are the misconceptions? I know for myself, especially with the hijab, I always was brought up thinking that was almost a way to suppress your woman.
Wow. You were actually thinking like that?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, without a doubt. But I'm ignorant. Like, I've never asked a question because it's not something that affects me. So it's not knowledge that I necessarily needed. But in that moment, it was one of the topics that I spoke with a lot of the women. And I mean, I met with a lot of women. There were groups of 6 at a table. There were one-on-ones. And this went on for a long period of time. Like you're talking, I was gathering documentation for about 6 months. So in that interview process, it was exceptionally interesting to hear from a female's perspective and to hear those my misconceived ideas as actually not factual. So I remember asking one of them and saying, so with your hijab, is that because your husband wants you to wear that? And she said, no. And I was like, no, come on. And she said, no. She goes, this is about me and my relationship with my beliefs. Okay. It's a personal relationship. She goes, my husband doesn't make me wear it. She goes, I choose to wear it, which is very different. And then she went on to explain how, especially in the Muslim culture, from my understanding, is how women are almost like an untouchable like species, humans. And it's like, he explained, which I quite liked this, because one of them was saying that, the money that she makes is her money. The money that the husband makes is also to provide for his family, and that's also her money. Well, at that note, I wanted to marry a Muslim man because I'd like to have that luxury. I was willing to convert at that moment, but I don't look that good in it.
Well, Nichole, I should tell you this, not a lot of Muslim men going to do that nowadays. Not a lot of Muslim women, they are very, very well educated, they are not going to do that as well.
I'll just have to go back to the old drawing.
Well, too late, sorry for that.
Yeah. No, but I found those kind of things very interesting because as an Australian woman, generations, I think we're about 4 or 5 generations in Australia, it was something new to me, and that was the way that I had perceived it, but the way I perceived it was wrong. Was I fearful of it? No, it doesn't. Like, it doesn't affect me in a negative way. I don't care what people wear or what they do. So it was not a question that I ever necessarily needed a response for, but in my own mind, there was that misconception. So I'd always thought, that's for respect to the husband, cover yourself up and so forth. But every woman that I spoke to gave me the same reply, no, No.
Interesting.
So
Very interesting.
that's why I would say add on, she has remained Minister for Education, because when you are into education, you look people as a human being, not judged by their dresses or what they look like. And your perspective changes a lot.
I think that's the good thing, like to keep very sensitive people in the like Ministry of Education. So they should not be like judging people based on their look, based on their like what they
religion,
are wearing, or religion, or
beliefs.
belief. Yeah,
Education changes a lot.
That's interesting. Yeah,
And
that's,
I think that life is a place of mutual respect. Like, I love the fact that, so just say it's election time and you're standing there and you've got Liberal people handing out how to vote cards, you've got Labor, you've got Greens. I think it is wonderful that in this country you can stand next to someone, hand out a flyer and not be fearful of persecution or retribution. Like, I love the fact that I can sit down with friends of mine that are Liberal supporters and we can have great debates about our belief systems.
Yeah.
And it's a personal journey, but it doesn't mean that we can't associate.
Definitely.
interesting. Interesting. Cool. Definitely we're going to come back to that topic again. So Sadia Ali, you are currently a role model among Hazara, among Afghan people. And I see, when I was in high school, I see a lot of girls at that time. We were like studying together and then now they are married. And like, I am sure they had a lot of dreams, like they want to be a doctor, a lawyer, or anyone they want to, like you. And so what happened? What's your message for them? Like, what's your message for those girls? How they can achieve their dream? And what's the problem like between those? Like, they got married and like, yeah.
For example, being married, having a husband, despite of that, pursuing your goals and career, how they should come up to that challenges.
I think Nichole has already answered that one, but I would highlight a little bit more in relation to our community. I'm very well aware that girls have been going through this issue, and it's not only 1%. There's, I think, 99.9% that girls are clearing their high school and then they're getting married, either willingly or unwillingly. But after marriage, things change. You have to change your preferences from being someone who has finished high school to becoming a full-time housewife, and then becoming a mother, and then becoming a daughter-in-law. Because when we marry, we do not marry the boy only. We marry the entire family, the entire community, and the entire religion of that that community, and that's the truth.
That's true.
So you have to have that, you have to accept it. It's I think for my message to those girls are to accept it. It's not that you should keep yourself blind that, no, I'm going to bring a change. Yes, you can bring that change, but if you are into that and slowly. If, for example, you are going in a family and you're a single person and you want to bring that change, you have to be that change.
You need to start it with yourself.
You have to start within yourself,
With the change you want to see.
and gradually, and then also, not only educating yourself but also educating people around you slowly, not forcefully. The thing is that slowly. Oh, I think this. Show them. Surround yourself with the people who you want your family to be like. See that. Have that wider vision. Where do you want to go? Do I really want to party, celebrate birthday parties or go to the community events and, not events in the sense that we celebrate, but events in the sense that, we have, our monthly meetings, what do you call that? There's a term we use like Nani. Yeah, so that's the term we use, like Nani and celebrations and wedding parties. Chanda. That's another thing. Yeah. I'm not against that. Do it. But you have to think what you want to achieve out of that. Is it bringing any good to your community? Is it bringing any good to your family? Is it bringing any good to your husband? Is it bringing any good to yourself as a person, as an individual? You have to make those choices. So the choice is yours. Again, I'm saying, choice is yours. I got married not only to my husband, to his entire family, to his entire chanda, to his entire community, to entire country then. So I'm now in a level that I have to discuss about the country. Oh, Afghan girl. Yes? They will never say you're XYZ's wife now. You're an Afghan girl. So you have to, the message is again that you have to make your choice. What do you want to achieve?
Education is power. We know that. And a lot of traditions that are systemic from different communities, it's harder here in Australia. We've got so many outside influences. So it's really difficult for young girls to navigate that. They have their responsibilities at home and then their responsibilities in school.
Please, because we're using this platform into empowering girls, young girls especially.
Especially youth, yes.
So my message is not only for the girls, because why girls only? It's the responsibility of the entire family to bring that change. So if you've got a supportive husband, for example, and then supportive in-laws, that's there. So you have to have that, the change does not come only from, that girl like that. I am trying my hard, but I'm not allowed to because, my husband's mentality is asking me to sit at home and look after the children and look after my parents only. So you have to have that, a supportive family also. So my message goes out to the men also.
To the men, to be supportive. Support the girls,
Support the girls would, the term support is used sometimes in a very negative manner. Like, okay, here you go, there's the money, that's the support. No.
Encouragement.
You need encouragement. You need to be there when she needs you. You need to be sometimes the voice also. So, girls are they're shy in a sense that they need that voice. Okay. Yeah? Yeah. They need that voice. For example, now when I go out, I'm on social media. I am everywhere. I'm taking my interviews, but you see my husband always behind me.
Yes.
It's not that he is insecure because I am going out. He is there he's there for me. When I look at him, okay, he's here, I'm getting more into the courage. That is something that I want to see.
Emotional support, financial support, could be everything, career support. These are the factors that need to be taken into consideration.
Humanity. Don't see a person as based on a gender. That's a woman, that's a girl, or that's X, that's Y. Human. Okay, I would just say, sorry, I'm taking some time. What, as I said, when we were investing, I was in continuous communication with my husband that, let's say, I am looking after your children, I'm looking after you, your parents are happy from me, your community is happy from me. I've got my own choices also. And what do I want? What do I like? What do I love doing is completing my education. And then he was looking how much I was doing in his home. So then he said, okay, that's the thing. This is some time. So he realized that point that this is something what you love to do. So you should be allowed to do because you're doing the rest of the things. You understand what I mean?
Yes. I really love that communication you brought. So like suppose the whole point is this, like for you men and women all there watching us, definitely communication. As Sadia said, like she communicated with her husband and said like, hey, I am taking care of this. So this is the value I'm bringing to your life and to your family life or whatever. And then at the same time, I have this goal. So you should support me to achieve my goal. I really love that communication. I think a lot of people should communicate with their husband and they should be very smart with that. Like they should communicate with their husband or their family. Definitely they need the support and what they are doing, they are bringing this value and they need the support instead. I really like that and a lot of people should follow that. Yes, that's the message.
And I also think that there's a lot to be thought about in relation to change. Change is never easy.
No.
It's not easy to accept and it's not easy to do. So change takes time. So change it's inevitable. There's a good chance that some of the Afghan young women out there may marry an Australian man. So that brings a whole different perspective on things.
And it's already happening. I know if you...
Exactly. Yeah. So then, and you see that with first generations or new generation families that come here, they come with all of their own life experiences from their own country. and then their children grow up here. So they have different experiences. That's not the parents' fault. That's their experience. That's their life journey. Their children have different experiences. So it's about not being angry or mad because your parents don't necessarily see things the way that you see them. They see them differently, whether it's right or wrong. It's just different.
It's just their perspective.
Exactly. It's their perspective, and you have to respect that. Because your parents will only do whatever they can do to protect their children. No parent wakes up in the morning and thinks, oh, what can I do to mess my kid's life up today? I didn't see that. But change takes time, and it takes a lot of time.
Sadia, every day you woke up, and I know there's a lot of stuff going on in your life, probably like you need to take care of your kids and your life, take care of your husband and like work. What encourages you every day? What encourages you?
What gives you the motivation?
Yeah.
Positive people.
That's the thing, positive people. And how these positive people sort of like make you wake up every morning and feel that energy within you and to start your day with that enthusiasm?
Now, waking up in the morning and continue what I am doing is that I have my women's group. And I do post a lot of messages in there. Not only so everything that comes up, for example, if there is an opportunity for job, if there is a free courses, or if I've got someone, for example, offers support sessions for the women and empowerment, I just post it there. And in return, what do I get? Is messages of encouragement. Sadia,
positive energy.
You are our pride. Sher Bukhtar Hazara. You are the lioness of the community. You're a role model for us. I want to be like you. How can I be like you? And what do you want me to do to help you? So those sort of things, it feels like, okay, if I am bringing a change in one person, positive change, I'm going to continue by the end. The day I stop that I have not changed that person or that one person, I'm not going to continue.
Brilliant.
If I would be specific, suppose if I would be more specific, sorry, I'm making it more challenging for you, but if I would be specific in the next 5 years, what specific role you are considering to be like? Suppose in the next 5 years, I want to have the best podcast like Joe Rogan. That's the kind of goal, but I don't know if I'm going to achieve it. Who knows? But I'll work on it. Yes.
Well, I always set short-term and long-term goals for myself. So for my short-term goal, which is going to be within next 5 years, is I'm going to be a practitioner in my law, because I'm completing my degree in Bachelor's of Law. So you'll see me maybe in a law firm, and in a long term, I would be serving in either state parliament or the federal parliament. So I would be serving in parliament because that's what I've been doing, and there's nothing better than serving community and having that voice, as Nikki said. So
you want to be, sorry, just make it more clear, so you want to be a member of parliament, or you just want to work behind the scene, is that what it is?
Well, it depends.
It's not as easy just to become a member of parliament. So I think I can speak to that one. Parliament, to become a member of parliament, there's a lot of roads that you have to travel, and it's not as easy as me saying I want to be a member of parliament. It's it's a very limited opportunity, and it's very much about being in the right place at the right time. But what is awesome is the fact that somebody like Sadia can think that may be an option for her. And she can make changes, she can promote herself or do what she needs to do within her community to give her the opportunity to go on to follow those dreams. Is it within her reach? Yeah, it is. Is it something that may happen? Well, who knows? Yeah. Right time, right place.
There's no word like impossible in today's dictionary.
And I believe, actually, the word impossible itself says I am possible. So that's another way to look at it. Coming back to you, Sadia, to be a member of parliament one day, which is your long-term goal, and that's a brilliant goal. And I hope that you get there. So I can see that you've already started planting those seeds along the way. The first thing that you would need to be there, I think that would be the major support from every community, wider community, the Australian society. You need that vote. to go to the parliament because you're becoming a voice of them.
Yeah.
So do you have any plan for that? How do you get that?
So the question that your answer is within your question is that why do I want to be like in the parliament? First thing is to advocate for the community, to let's say talk about the issues they're going through, and to encounter how we can resolve those issues. For example, visas, citizenship, family reunion, employability, family issues like family violence, and many other issues that you just people do not want to talk about. Why do I want to be there? Is for the community, because of the community. So if community think they should make smart choice, they should think responsibly and act in an appropriate way of whether or not we want our voices to be heard, or we should just rely and sit and cry and complain that we are going through these issues. So I think it is time for them to stand up for themselves, and by standing up, what do we need? We need a representative for them to stand up on a level to talk on their behalf. So I'm not asking for the vote, or I'm not in that position yet.
But you will be, I believe.
People have to think about it, act responsibly, and take that, acknowledge that we do need that person. We do need someone. It's not about me. It could be anyone. It could be you, Naeem. It could be you, Mehdi.
Thank you.
Yeah. So
I will not consider that.
It's just an example.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's not about me. We do need, for example, if I see someone who has got that caliber, who has got that strength of standing up and representing community and talking about the issues and be genuine and true, have that loyalty to the community, I would definitely go for that.
Okay, interesting.
Got it?
Yes.
And one more thing.
Yes.
Presently, as Naeem was asking, that what do you want the support of the community, is that community should not think that that person or particular person is doing something for herself or for himself.
Yeah.
They should think that what positivity is coming to them as an individual. For example, when we set those events, information sessions or, certificates for their education, they should come and take it, participate in that. That's your representation. That is going to develop your personality, your own as an individual. So when I talk to my women's group, I do not try to convince them. I say you have to make that choice. Whether you will sit at home, watch cartoon with your children, or watch TV, whatever you want to do, or go for shopping, or you would rather invest that 1 hour of your time on educating yourself. Because just walking out of your door, sitting in that class, learning one word is going to change you. That's what I want from the community. It's not me, it's about them.
It's about them, exactly. Action and words, two different things. As you've mentioned before, a lot of people can do things that they want to do, but some of them are talking about it, but do not taking that action.
Yeah.
A lot of stuff, yeah.
Yeah. Definitely a lot of stuff to talk about this sort of stuff. But Nichole, I'm very curious about you did a paper or you did research on about Muslim women, and why you were interested in the initial stage, like you want to do research or like you want to write about Muslim women. What makes you interested towards them?
So a very long time ago, when I started in my role as an elected officer, you're always looking for things within the community that are going to benefit community. And I remember reading an article in the local paper about a young Afghan woman who unfortunately was murdered. And it made me, by her husband, and it made me really sit back and think. The thing that spoke to me the loudest was the fact that the neighbours said that she felt alone. She didn't know where to go. She didn't know who to talk to. She didn't have family here. So essentially she was suffering in silence. And you've got to self-reflect because you're part of a community. So I sat there and I thought, well, I don't like, I'm not a Muslim woman. I can't, it's, what can I do to be a change that I want to see? I can imagine how hard it would be for a lot of women that are coming as refugees to this country. Talking back to that, so that really burdened me, and I'm the kind of person that if something affects me or if it burdens me, I've got to try and see what I can do to make a change. Am I a Muslim woman? No, I'm not. Do I understand the journey of a Muslim woman? No, I don't. But at that moment, I started talking to a colleague of mine, and I said to her, do you think that, I said, this is what bothers me. Like, the woman had nowhere to go. She had no one to talk to. How can we change that? How can we reach out and pull these people in and, you know, help them or just support them in some way, whether it's through friendship, a cup of tea. Sometimes all we need is to be heard. So when I was studying, we had to pick a topic, and I've always had a really a great interest in Muslim women, not just Hazara Muslim women, but Muslim women around the world to see. And I sort of find that the best way to understand a culture or belief is to research it. So for me, it was something that I found interesting. Now, if you like what you're doing, you're going to enjoy it and you're going to excel at it because it's something that you're interested in.
What's the easiest way to integrate into Australian lifestyle and values and culture?
Okay, so when we say easy, I don't think there's any easy way to do it.
Sadia knows, she agrees.
There's no shortcut.
There's no shortcut. I think language is really important.
And communication.
Yeah, communication. So I think learning and not being afraid to say silly things or to not be able to say words perfectly. Communication is the key. Communication we get from education. So for me, it's about education. Educate yourself. Don't just think that somebody who's here already that tells you that's what you're supposed to be doing is necessarily right. You know, educate yourself, empower yourself. Because when you empower yourself and then you go off and you get married and you have children, you'll empower those children as well. And then we've got more little empowered people running around.
Perfect. And asking for help.
Asking for help. That's very true.
Always, Mehdi. Yeah. Whenever you feel like you're stuck somewhere, ask for help. There will be at least one person to just connect you or to lead you to it somewhere.
Yes.
So, you know what I mean? My whole life is one big walking embarrassment, really. There's often times where I look in the mirror and think, you are just a mental case. You're insane.
I think you should not be discouraged yourself. You're just being yourself, that's it, and you should go with that, and you should not change that.
What? Can I ask you two a question?
Sure.
Okay, I know we're turning things
I'm trying to take over.
Now Sadia and I are taking over your podcast. But what made you two want to interview us? Out of all the people that we have, why us?
Do you want me to go with this?
Go for it.
Okay. So what happened was, because I know Sadia for a year now. We met last year, and I met her through volleyball. She was, at the time, she was actually forming a girls' team, a girls' volleyball team, and she was like really looking into that. And that's a good way to support girls, to encourage them to go into sports and encourage the culture of volleyball within the Afghan and Hazara girls, which is quite an amazing thing. And that's how I got introduced to Sadia. And for the past year, I've been sort of like, we're friends on Facebook and social media, and I've been following her work. And I thought she would be a great person that some people could learn something from her. She could be a great role model. And that was the reason we invited Sadia. And quite honest and frank, we didn't want to have Sadia here sitting by herself, because from a Hazara background, I would definitely say that she wouldn't be comfortable sitting with two guys, one Sadia, and that would be very uncomfortable interview.
Thank you for thinking.
So that's why the idea came in to bring.
So you're basically using me to get started.
No, that's not the case.
Let me elaborate on that. Definitely, let me elaborate on that. So what happened was, like, you guys putting a lot of good work for the people, for the community, and especially Sadia. And from Hazara community, like they are living in Australia in the past 30 years, max 30 or like max 30 years. And if woman is achieving from our community, and we should acknowledge that, and we should support that, and we should create the role and show to the people, like tell a lot of girls who want to be like that, who want to be the next Sadia. And we want to make awareness, and like we want like, hey, it's okay, and if you have a dream,
follow your dreams.
Follow your dream.
So again, you're using me to get to Sadia.
I haven't finished yet, and you have been researching on, and you have been supporting a lot of Muslim women, and which is quite, to my understanding, the separate part of the society. Like, so you have been supporting them, and it would be interesting not only for me, for everyone who is watching us. So they can listen to you and they understand, like there's a lot of people who is helping them and they are not alone.
No,
so
they're not.
We are not using you, definitely. I think we are just conscious of the time and we're gonna wrap up everything. Have you ever watched any of our podcasts by any chance?
You know,
We did that. You invited us.
I have, and I understood none of it.
I hope Sadia have enough influence on you so you can start learning a little bit of Hazaragi or Farsi. Anyway, I think we should wrap up, and thank you, Sadia, and thank you, Nichole, and good luck with your goals and journey, and good luck with your paper. I hope to see the paper in the future. And okay, everyone, if you, I hope you enjoyed this podcast today, and we had a very nice special guest today, and they shared a lot of great issue, and they highlighted and they addressed those issues very well, and we learned a lot of new stuff, and I hope you learn as well. And definitely for the future, if you want to contact with Sadia and Nichole, we're going to leave their detailed contact, like LinkedIn or Facebook, in the description of this video.
If you have ever feel a victim of domestic violence or sexual harassment, or if you would like to have a chat to Sadia and Nichole as your personal mentor, you can always reach them out. They're very supportive, they're very friendly, and I'm very sure that they can help you out.
It's our pleasure.
And thank you for watching us today, and if you got some value from this video, please consider subscribing our channel and liking our video and share our video with your friends or family. Maybe they're gonna get some value as well. And feel free to leave a comment down below what kind of topic and what kind of content we should create in the future, and definitely we're gonna read all the comments and then we're gonna follow up with you guys. And thank you, everyone, and hope to see you all in our next podcast.
Thank you, guys. Thank you, Sadia and Nichole, again.
Thank you. Thanks for your time.